Hi, Bulldogs. I'm excited to start a new unit with you. We are going to be exploring something called capacity. And I like this little saying to go along with it. We cannot contain our excitement. When you think of capacity, the first word I want you to think of is contain. We're going to talk about how much space can be contained, how much capacity an object has, how much it can contain. Here's our lesson frame for today. We will learn about customary capacity as units of measurements. You will understand that there are different ways to measure capacity and reasonable estimates in measurement. So let's look at some containers. I want you to take a look at each container below and think about how much water each may hold and organize them from least to greatest. Here's container A. Let's think about how much liquid would go in here. If I filled this up with chocolate milk, how much could I fit in here? In container B, which one do you think can hold more, A or B? Here's container C. If I wanted to get the most chocolate milk, should I use A, B, or C? And container D. All right, so we have 3 containers. I want you to right now decide which one do you think could hold the most? Which one do you think could hold the least? All right, we're going to put them in order from least to greatest, so I want you to get a piece of paper and make a list. First, write down the one you think could hold the least, then the next least, and then the next least, and then which one you think could hold the most. So put these in order from least to greatest. You can jot it down on a piece of scrap of paper or keep it in your brain. All right. Would you be surprised to know that they all hold about the same amount? Containers A, B, C, and D have about the same capacity. If I wanted to have the most chocolate milk, any of these would do because they have the same capacity. Capacity. Even though each container is a different size, the capacity or the amount the container will hold is about the same. So something you might be thinking is the volume. The volume is a space taken by the object. Like you may look at that first cup, letter A, that tall one, and be like, well, that's the biggest. Well, it does. It's taller, has more volume. It may take up more space, but we're looking at capacity, the amount of substance, like a liquid, it can hold. Containers may have different volumes, but their capacity could be the same, meaning they could look totally different. One could be tall and skinny, one could be short and fat. Even though they are very different sizes, they may have the exact same capacity and hold the same amount of liquid, giving us equal amount of whatever liquid we have inside of our containers or our cups. I'm going to talk about measurement systems. There are 2 systems of measurement. They're called customary and metric. Each system names their units of measurement differently. The customary system is a system of measurement primarily used in the United States. So in the United States, when we're talking about how much space or how much we need, how much liquid, we like to use the customary measurements. Today, we are going to explore the customary measurement for capacity. If you notice, before I even put up my measurement systems, I want you to notice my boxes here. This is going to become our resource. You know, we use our resources, use our anchor charts. They're there to help you. What I'm about to put up on this screen is going to be your resource. Now, if you notice, the boxes get larger, taller as they go. So I'm going to first show you in the small one, my smallest measurement within the customary units, all the way up to my largest. So the smallest one we're going to talk about is cups. Then we'll have pints, then quarts, and finally gallons. When you think about cups, it always makes you think about measuring tools. Like in the kitchen, I have measuring cups, or my measuring spoons actually go all the way up to cup. Cup would be like a small coffee or a small drink. Here's a picture of a measuring cup. Pint, when you think of pint, think about those little containers of milk that we get in the school cafeteria. That school milk is 1 pint. Usually fruit, you eat about a pint. A medium-sized drink would be measured in pints. Here's a picture of a similar school box of milk that we would have at our school. For a quart, if you get the smaller container of milk for your fridge, it would be a quart. A lot of times this is what we get at our house. Juice would probably be measured in quarts. And then for a gallon, milk can also be measured in gallon. If you get the big gallon of milk, the full-size gallon, it would be measured in gallons. Paint usually comes in gallons, and here's a picture of the gallon milk. So next time you're at the grocery store, I think milk's the best connection. So when you're going to be baking something and you need to use some milk, you would use cups to measure it out. When we're at school, we drink a pint of milk. And then when you're at the grocery store deciding on how much milk you need for the week, you'll either get a quart of milk or a gallon of milk. If you want a lot, you'll get a gallon. If you just want like half, you'll get a quart. Do you think I could make one measurement using the other? How many cups do you think it would take to make 1 pint? And what about pints to 1 quart? Could I use quarts to make 1 gallon? Here's the relationship between each of our 4 measurements. To make a pint, you would need 2 cups. To make a quart, you would need 4 cups. And to make a gallon, you would need 16 cups. If I wanted to make a quart using pints, 2 pints would make 1 quart. 8 pints would make 1 gallon, and 4 quarts would make a gallon. So I want you to think, if I look at this one right here, the 4 cups and 1 quart, we can add on to this and use conversions. So if I know it takes 4 cups to make 1 quart, how many quarts would I have if I had 8 cups? So 4 cups makes 1 quart. What about if I had 8 cups? How many quarts would I have? I have 4 cups here. I know to get to 8, I would double this. So if I doubled this side, I would also double this side. So if I had 4 cups, I would have 2 quarts. Reasonableness. Another skill we can talk about when looking at measurements is reasonableness. How appropriate or likely something is. Example, would it be reasonable to fill a pool using a cup? It would be possible, but it would take a long time to do a cup to fill an entire pool. It would take many, I don't even know how many cups. It would be so many cups. That would not be reasonable. It is possible, but not reasonable. Let's practice some reasonableness. For the next few slides, choose the unit that you think would most likely be used to measure the capacity. Remember, we have cups, pints, quarts, and gallons. What do you think the amount of liquid in a pitcher would be measured with? How much lemonade would we measure it with? I would say quarts or maybe 1 gallon. How about the amount of liquid to fill a tub, like the bathtub? That's a lot of liquid, definitely gallons. How about to water this plant? This is a small plant. I wouldn't need a lot of water, so I would say probably a cup, maybe a pint, depending on how much water this plant needs. What about this plant? This plant is much larger. This plant would need quarts of water or gallons of water. How about the amount of liquid in this coffee mug? I know a lot of times I call this a coffee cup, and I think that's because this is a cup of coffee. We would measure it in cups. How about the amount of liquid in this water bottle? This water bottle would hold cups of water or maybe pints of water, probably cups. How about the amount of liquid in this jar, this container? This container is actually a quart. It would hold a quart of liquid if we put liquid in here. Which is the better capacity for this item? Do you think a car would hold 10 gallons of gas or 10 cups of gas? When you buy gas, you buy it by the gallon because a car holds gallons of gas. So 10 gallons of gas would definitely be the better option. Which is better for the capacity of this item? For our shampoo, would it be a pint, 1 pint of shampoo, or 1 gallon? You could buy shampoo by the gallon, but that's a lot of gallon. That's a lot of shampoo. That would be more for like the salons if they bought it in bulk. When we buy shampoo, we buy 1 pint of shampoo. As you shop or as you're around your home and looking at different items like shampoo or your milk or your bottle of juice or a can of Coke, you'll notice these measurements on there. Be sure to keep an eye out to see what measurements are used in items around your home. So you're going to have your turn with this today. This is going to be a Google Slides you're going to open. I'll have more directions on the next slide, just our normal directions of how to open it up and to turn it in. But you're going to take customary capacity and decide with the pictures on the side, would I use cups, pints, quarts, or gallons? You're going to drag the picture to the reasonable unit of measurement for the capacity of the object. You have a container for gas. You have ice cream. You have juice. You have paint. You have some dressing, apple juice. You have soap. You have a cup of coffee. You have a bottle of water. You have milk. You have some oil. And you have honey. Now, I want you to think, just knowing like the objects you have at home, what would be the most reasonable unit of measurement? Now, there are some items that could go in one or the other. You know, when I talked about milk, I said, well, mostly we like to buy our milk in quart. But I know a lot of people buy a gallon of milk. So your jug of milk might go in either or, depending on what you're used to buying. So there are a few that could go either or. However, it would not make sense to say that milk right here, this jug of milk, is a cup. So go through. You can even look at objects around your house, like for the water bottle. If you want to go get a water bottle and read what it says, you are welcome to do that as well. So let's sum this up. The capacity is the amount of liquid an object can hold. We can measure a customary capacity in units, such as cups, pints, quarts, and gallons. The units of measurement in the customary capacity are in a relationship, and we can make reasonable choices when determining the best units of measurement. All right, we're going to go on a ride backwards. You ready? Boom, 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 boom. It's coming, it's coming, it's coming. One more. Oh, a few more clicks. A few more. Here we go. Okay. So this slide, I have this slide screenshotted as a material under today's topic. However, if you want to take a picture of it now, or if you want to jot notes, you could just get a piece of like sticky note or paper and write cup, pint, quart, gallon to help you remember the order and remember which one is smaller to largest. But you definitely need to use your resource. I don't expect you to have this memorized, especially as you go into your assignment for today. So take a picture, write it down, and make sure you're using your resource for this activity. You can go ahead and head on over to your Google Slides activity for today.